this corner. No, you can stand over here, but meanwhile you can. Just Yopi. Okay, now the story about those people. They are sitting here, they live over here, and the uprising, the Romans are sending the legions that we talked in 67, 80 to get rid of Judea. As I mentioned, Vespasianus in the north starts in the Galilee. Titus is coming from Egypt, from over there. The people that heard what happened in the Galilee, and they take the scroll that for them is the most important thing. They put them in vessels. They find caves around over there, and they put the vessels there. And now they say, some of them say, I've heard Masada is in our hands. I'm going to Masada. The other one said, and I'm going to help to protect the temple. After the war, we will come back here and continue the good work we're doing. We'll meet again. And we'll take, of course, the scrolls out and we'll continue our studies. Obviously, no one stayed alive and came back. Years are going by. And now I'm talking about 1947. 1947, two Bedouins, I don't know why they had to come through here. מה, בכל המקומות אתה צריך לעבור פה? קדימה, יש לך פה ליציאה. אני יותר ממך.
לא.
אני הדרכתי בסיני, אדוני.
אדוני, אני 2016.
אז אתה כלום.
אני הייתי...
Okay, יאללה. Okay, so according to the what happens next is that 1947, we saw this morning the Bedouins. They go out with the sheep and the goats. And they travel for a few days. Israel is not yet established. The Brits are here.
2016.
אין לי זמן. אני באמצע זה.
Please, thank you.
You can see this was a deep dining room.
1947, the Brits are here. Israel is not yet existing. The Bedouins are going out with goats. It's a boring thing to go out 3 days, sit and wait until the goats would finish to eat what there is here, plenty, then move to another place and sit again. So two stepbrothers, Bedouins, are going together. Stepbrothers, same father, different mothers, and they decide, let's play basketball. Now basketball, this is why I needed this place, sorry, because don't trust my this. How do you play basketball? Then you can come back here. How do you play basketball? You take a stone and you try to hit into the cage.
Oh. Yay.
And they said, hey, what's the noise? Now you can come back. What's the noise? They decide, we'll come back here and see what made the noise because the cave was not accessible. They come back a few days, few weeks later, and we don't know because you know the difference between Bedouins and us?
Time.
What's the biggest difference? What?
Time.
Good. This. They don't care about time. You ask a Bedouin, when were you born? He'll say, oh, before the big flood. After the war. And how far is it from here to Jericho? Oh, a package of cigarettes. This is how life goes. Much better than our life, but never mind, this is where we were born. So, they are coming back here. One of them rode the rope. One of them is going in. And what does he find out? That the noise that was made by the stone hitting the cave was, it hit the vessel, broke the vessel. He finds the vessel has no value because his grandmother makes 10 like this every day. So, but he finds also the parchment. They don't know how to read Arabic because they don't have schools. He certainly doesn't know how to read Hebrew. Hebrew that was written there then. So he takes it, comes to his friend and says, I don't know, this is what we found. What can we do with that? We can't make money out of it. His friend says, listen, I'm going to be in Bethlehem soon, and maybe I can sell it to someone who will find interest in it. Fine. He gets later on to Bethlehem and tries to sell, I'm talking about 1947, before Israel has been established. Tries to sell it, no one wants to buy it. The end of the day, he's so frustrated, he says, well, maybe I'll go to a shoemaker, he can use it, it's leather, for sandals. Who bought sandals here? And check that it's not made out of their parchments. And he goes to a shoemaker, his name is Mr. Kadu. Mr. Kadu, the shoemaker, gives him 10 cents and takes their parchment. Mr. Kadu took their parchment not because he wanted to make sandals, as they have in Bethlehem, lots of sheep and goats. He took it because he had a visitor before from Jerusalem, professor from the Hebrew University. Although Israel was not existing, the Hebrew University was here from the 30s already. And Professor Sukeni, the Jewish professor, is wandering in the whole area, the whole city, Bethlehem, and says, if you have old stuff, let me know, I'll buy it from you because I'm an archaeologist, I'm interested in old stuff. And he comes also to Mr. Kadu, the shoemaker, before that. So Mr. Kadu decides, let's give it a chance. He called Professor Sukenik and says, I think I've got something for you. Professor Sukenik, a very wise person, knows everything about history and archaeology, but not so smart when it comes to business. Because when he came to Mr. Kadu and saw that parchment, he could read it, what was written 2,000 years ago. The same letters, the same language, the same words. And he said, oh my God, that was a fortune. The shoemaker didn't hesitate and said, yeah, I want $10,000. I'm talking about 1947. He gave it a try. And Mr. Sukenik said, hold it, I'm going to get the money, instead of bargaining with him. And you think the Jews are good bargainers. So he goes back to the university and says, listen, this is the Jew, this is the real thing, we have to buy it. This is what our forefathers wrote. He collects the money. And wow, until he collects the money, this is